So hello, welcome again to Land Rover Defender and the second of the videos in the series. And this one's going to be quite quick because I just wanted to talk a little bit about the security aspects of owning a Defender. As we all know, they are ultimately stealable vehicles because the way that they're built does allow thieves to get in. Maybe that's just taking the doors off, taking the bonnet off. There's various ways into a Defender, and realistically they're now one of the most stolen vehicles in the UK. So I really like the idea of having something with physical security, and what I chose was the Optmill Swivel Lock. You may be able to see it just behind me, but we're going to delve into it a little bit deeper, how to fit it and how to use it in a moment, and we'll open the door up and get in the car. But there are many ways to secure a Defender, but I wanted something that was obvious but also had to be easy to fit, because unless it's easy to fit you won't use it. And I use the Optmill Swivel Lock all the time, so whether it's sat on the drive here or whether I'm popping down to the shops, it takes about 5 seconds to fit the device, and therefore you're more inclined to use it than something that's a little bit more difficult or takes longer to remove once you jump back into the vehicle. So this is with the Optmill fitted, and I'll just remove it so that we can take a look at the removable steering wheel part. So that's that removed. So you see the bit where I described that you have to first fit this removable boss. That means removing the steering wheel. The steering wheel, some people will tell you that it's quite easy to remove. I think it probably depends on the age of your Defender. Top tip, there is just one central nut to remove it. So remove the cover and then just remove the central nut, but leave the nut on. So slacken the nut off. And I found when I fitted it, first of all, to get the steering wheel off, I had to apply some considerable force to remove the steering wheel. And at one stage, I didn't think it was going to go. But yeah, taking the steering wheel off, the only way I actually did it in the end was to wobble from side to side. I did try with a soft mallet, and the steering wheel type that I had, you can't use one of the extractors on it. You will go online and you will see that there are some extractors. This is a 2014 Defender, and there was no actual fixings for the extractor, so it is just a case of using elbow grease to get the steering wheel off. But I say I did manage it eventually by pulling from one side to the other side. But please remember to keep that nut on, because inevitably, if you take the nut off and the steering wheel suddenly releases, it will come and fly straight into the front of your face, which is not going to be pretty. So fitting the boss on, underneath here, of course, is the indicator mechanism, but it's quite simple, and in the instructions there's just a couple of pins, and then this resets the indicator cancelling mechanism inside. Underneath here is just the nut for securing the removable boss. So you need a steering wheel, obviously. This is a Pro Tipo Momo. It's just one that I saw online. I thought it didn't look too racy. I didn't want something that looked like something from a video game. So the Pro Tipo Momo, and you can see how easily that goes on and off. It's really quite simple. To release the wheel, you just remove, and quite often I just leave the steering wheel underneath the seat in the back. I don't often take it away with me, working on the basis that you need to get the swivel lock off in the first place. So grabbing the swivel lock to refit, there's actually 3 holes and the locking pin. This is the hardest part. I had a 90 where it was much easier to get my fingers behind the boss, but I think the console has changed in its depth and it's not so easy to get your fingers behind. So what I tend to do is try and line the holes up. So with the boss at 90 degrees, because it can go in either side, get it in position, so top pin, 2 bottom pins, and put it on. It will either go on first time like this, or if you get it slightly misaligned, it doesn't go on, and then you just need to put your fingers around the back and move the swivel disc, pop the lock in, and you can see that's it in position, and there's nothing else to do. As I say, it would take some considerable force to remove this. I think I have read online that you can somehow remove this lock with, I don't know what implement, but I really think the amount of noise and fuss that would take, unless you were parked far away from anyone else, is not really feasible, but everything is defeatable in the end. But this is a lovely visual deterrent. I like it particularly when I take it anywhere rurally, and particularly in car parks at the bottom of mountains and stuff like that, where it is pretty obvious that the car's probably going to be left for the best part of a day. This gives me some confidence that a casual thief would be defeated by this. So that's it. That's the Optmill Swivel Lock, and I think a real enhancement for security. On and off, I say the boss needs to go on, but it's a simple job. Steering wheel off. Remember to leave the nut on as you pull the steering wheel off. Make sure you get the right number of splines. So on a 2014, for example, this is a 48 spline, and I think on early models it might be 36. But check before you buy the Optmill receiver here that you've got the right amount of splines. You can actually fit the horn through here as well. So when you buy the Pro Tipo, if you decide to go that way, you can rewire the horn into a central horn, but I haven't bothered. I can't really see the point of that. And that's pretty much it. It's a really simple thing to fit, and not too much hassle to put it on when you just pop down the shops. So thanks very much. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been of some use.